Good?
I'll show you my pickles on a pickle. Hello, 2 6. Okay. I have 2 pickles. I have 2 pickles. I have 2 pickles today. Hey, hey. The 2 big little boy and big pickle. I have 2 pickles today. Hey, day. Birthday? Don't ask. Are these kosher?
Alright, so you might be wondering why we just watched Little Rascals. And it's because today we're going to check out some pickles. Pretty much. So, objectives for the day are on the handout. We're going to do some definitions. This lesson is sort of an intro to actual dissections we're going to do later on with animals. So we're going to talk about safety, practice taking neat and accurate recordings, and hopefully address misconceptions about fruits and vegetables. So, can you guys see if I come over here? So, Alright, so to start off, we're going to do some vocabulary right off the bat. And I'm going to draw up here our little pickle monster. Here's his back and his belly side, okay? So if I was going to find the dorsal area on this pickle monster, where would it be? Dorsal means? Where the fin is, right. Most of us have caught fish and we know that there's a big dorsal fin on the back. I mean, if you're friendly with somebody, you can give them a dorsal scratch if you want. So. What about ventral?
It's belly.
Belly, right. Anterior. Head. And posterior. Okay. So we're going to get into our activity, which is dissecting a pickle. Just to practice up on what we're going to do later on in this unit. So first off, what safety considerations do we need to make?
We're using sharp objects.
We are. Yeah, we're going to have a scalpel and scissors.
Can we eat the pickles?
Not these pickles. We never eat or eat off the tray or eat the pickles that we're actually dissecting, but I have extras, so at the end there might be some fresh edible pickles. Any other ideas?
Don't walk around with the blade in your hand.
Don't walk around with the blade in your hand. Right?
What if I have to like scratch my face or something? Can I like do that?
With a pickle, yes,
Well,
but if we have an actual animal, don't. Wash your hands first, and then scratch your face. Alright, so we're not actually going to do these, but I've got scalpels, and dissection trays, and pickles. So if you guys do want to pickle afterwards, do that. So, how this would work is one person, like we'd be split up in groups of 2, one person come up and get a pickle, the other person come up and get scalpels and dissection trays, and then this would start. You guys should have a lesson handout, the second page of this, and it's got directions on the front. So what I want you guys to do is follow the directions, dissect your pickles, and start on your sketches. Hopefully this is pretty self-explanatory, and I want you guys to talk to each other first, try and figure it out, how to do it. If you have questions after you converse with each other, then ask me. If you have safety issues, ask me first before you start going crazy with everything. And then when you're done with that, we've got some reflection questions that we're going to talk about. And the assessment for the day is you're going to hand in your sketches and the reflection questions, and that's just going to show that you participated and that you're sort of getting ready for an actual dissection. So I know you guys can be safe and you know sort of how it works. So that would happen back there. After the dissections, the last question on the reflections is a pickle a fruit or a vegetable? And hopefully you guys would talk about that amongst yourselves first, and then we do this little PowerPoint to sort of address the misconceptions about fruits and vegetables. So let's just start this off. Anybody have an idea on whether an apple is a fruit or a vegetable?
Fruit.
Yep. What about asparagus?
Vegetable.
Vegetable. But why? Can you guys define a fruit or vegetable?
No, normally say that fruits have seeds in them.
Yeah.
That's right. That's the easiest way to tell the difference between why the apple is a fruit. It contains seeds, and vegetables are just a plant with edible parts, and we usually eat the roots, leaves, or stems. Yeah.
So why do people always say that a tomato is a vegetable then? Where did that come from?
I don't know how that got started. I guess I could look it up and get back to you, or if you want to look it up. But it is a fruit, obviously. It has seeds. So let's just go through a couple more. Broccoli,
Vegetable.
vegetable. Peppers,
Vegetable.
Oh,
Fruit.
that's fruit, isn't it?
Seed.
it's a fruit. And lastly, our cucumber pickle. A fruit. Okay. I think you guys have a pretty good grip on that. So let's jump back to the reflection questions. We'll just talk through these, and if anybody has an idea that you don't have written down, you can steal their idea, write it down. So first off, we've kind of gone through this, but when using a scalpel, what are some safety procedures you should keep in mind?
Don't point it towards your face.
Don't point it towards your face,
Or my face.
or anyone else's face.
Watch where you're cutting.
Watch where you cut. Just be diligent, be careful. Anything else? Don't throw them, don't set them on the edge of the table. It's all pretty common sense. We've all used knives, but when there's a lot of clutter, accidents tend to happen more often. Why do you need to take neat and accurate recordings or sketches? What do you guys think? Like, why would we draw a picture of a pickle? You know?
Well, we want to remember what we learned, so
Right.
we make it accurate, and we can use it later to study or reference.
That's exactly it. If we make good drawings, take good notes, we can refer to those later on. If we forget something or just need a reference. Back to the vocabulary, can anybody just verbally describe where you would find the dorsal region on an animal?
On top.
On their back, right? Ventral, tummy, belly, anterior, head, and posterior, the butt. That's right. And lastly is a pickle, a fruit or a vegetable? A fruit, and why? Seeds. Yeah.
Does,
Yeah.
does the, you're talking about an animal, you're talking, the anterior is, first head and posterior is first back. Does that work when you're talking about these two?
It does. It does. Our anterior end is toward our head, and posterior is toward our back. Any other questions? That's it. That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.